Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. This one here is a general notice, and wow, it's absolutely baking hot in here right now. It's 30-something degrees outside here in the UK, and it's going to be a couple of degrees warmer in here because I've had to have my fan off while I'm recording, and my PC is spewing out so much heat. But yeah, let's talk about my plans for the week ahead, and have a bit of a discussion about some points that I don't feel I can make a proper video talking about right now. So, first off, plans for the week ahead, and big one is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 11th of August, which for me, it celebrates the anniversary of starting making content to this channel. It'll be 6 years of having at least a video a day, which, that's weird. That's really odd for me. Especially because of how different it's going to be this year to last year. I mean, last year I was in several locations, saying the same script several times, and this year's going to be much more relaxed. It's very odd. Like, so much of this channel has changed in that time. I just have to say thanks for the support, because I think I was probably around the 130 subscribers mark, and now we're at 410. Which, for me, is just otherworldly. It's weird to think that when I'm looking at the analytics and looking at standards now that I get past my subscriber count in a day, which is 400. Whereas this time last year, if I was having more than 100 views a day, that would be like, wow, that would be amazing. In terms of videos, I've got another one coming up towards 12,000, the Rich Birds Rally 2020. Video is coming up towards 12,000 views, which will probably pass in the next week. And the one about F1 drivers taking the ahead of the Austrian Grand Prix is nearing 10,000. Which, that's odd. Because for me, the standard around this time last year was around the 2,000, 3,000 mark, if that. But yeah, I'll be doing a celebration thing for that, both a video and a stream. Going to be a very relaxed and chilled one. And in terms of stream schedule, I'm going to be working with BUSR a bit more. I'm really excited for this. I'll put a link in the description below to their Twitch and other social media platforms. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun because I've been doing commentary for the last two races of Formula 1, and I believe I'm going to be working with them for Sedicals and Competizione today, which I'm really looking forward to. In addition to that, I'll be doing streaming with BUSR leagues, where I'm competing in them for Dirt Rally 2.0. I believe there's going to be a Rallycross one and a rallying one, which will be exciting. And then there's RSRBR, where I'm going to be doing the 2003 WRC Rally Finland, which is going to be cool. In terms of video content, we've got Formula E's final two rounds, so I'll probably be doing a preview video that comes out tomorrow, and then a reaction to each race. F1, we've got the Spanish Grand Prix, so there'll be a preview out on most likely Thursday, and a review out on Sunday, as well as anything discussing driver protest on Sunday, probably during the race itself. Then I might do some stuff about rallying, or about sim racing, I don't know yet. We'll find out in the coming few days. But yeah, those are my plans going ahead for this next week. And now, we're getting to a point where I'm going to talk about comment stuff. And thoughts and reflection. Because I moderate the comment section of this channel. I've done that for about 2 months now. Maybe a bit more. And the reason being is because I switched over to motorsport content because just doing political content and things like that was getting really horrible and really unhealthy. And then I found a good cross-section between motorsports and politics to do, or at least I thought it was, and then the horrible, unhealthy people came back. Because all of a sudden, yeah, the people with the horrible opinions in the cross-section of motorsport and politics came across my stuff. Yeah. I know some of them are actually subscribed to me as well, which is a bit scary, I don't know what would be scarier though, if these kinds of trolls are subscribed to me and coming in on videos with notification that they're that obsessed with me, or whether they'd be more obsessed and it'd be more scary, it would be scarier if they just were constantly checking on me. It's nice to know I occupy space in their minds. That's nice. Kind of. But yeah, the big thing for this week, how far is too far with motorsports and politics? Because I see this as a quite common comment. F1's too political. F1 should steer clear of politics. And that apparently also applies to Formula E, because I made a Formula E video as well. I don't quite know how to say this, but it's hard to not be political. Politics are personal. And there is a debate of where the personal becomes the politics and where the politics becomes the personal. But yeah. There is a very strong blend of the two. And motorsports have always been quite strongly political. It's just that what's been framed as politics varies over time and in different contexts. So, political, to some people, might mean the Racing Point protest and the Ferrari protests over the past year. But to others, it will mean things like increased diversity in F1 and topics such as talking about the removal of grid girls. And I found it funny that somebody had said to me that Formula E is too political. Formula E was founded with a political message, one revolving around climate change, and they've made statements before about diversity. Not necessarily about anti-racism stuff, but that's what positively charged, which Formula E kind of isn't. Should be talking about. But yeah, then you got Formula 1's We Race This One. And I've actually done stuff about brands and awareness. Did one about Mercedes. Did one about F1's We Race This One, which I'll link below. I'll also link below last week's general notice about should F1 drivers be forced to kneel. Because I've got another point about that, which I'm going to get to in a second. But firstly, yeah, these have always been political. It's just you don't like to say they're political when it's a political opinion you don't like. I've seen people going on about, the safety crusade. That was too political. Okay, so you saying that you don't want drivers to die or get seriously injured is political? And the same thing when they talk about grid girls and drivers taking the knee is too political. So, being pro-equality, being anti-racism, anti-sexism is too political. I mean, I'd also say the same things about, say, homophobia and transphobia, countering them, but I know that if they're going to be having problems with racism and sexism, they're probably going to end up trying to call me some kind of slur in regards to homophobia and transphobia. Believe me, I've seen it, and that's one of the weirdest curveballs where I say racism's bad, and then transphobic remark, it's like... Yeah, I don't think these motorsports can get too political. Because they've always been. They have always been inherently political. And if you want F1 without the politics, you're not going to have F1. Because that would be... that would have to be something where it was all incredibly uniform. You wouldn't be able... You'd have to have, like, spec cars, and even then that's a political decision. You'd have to have spec parts, even then that's a political decision. You'd have to do balancing in terms of things such as prize funds, and even then that's a political decision. You see what I'm talking about? I see people then going in and go, oh, but you're not going to complain about shady sponsorships. Yeah, I will. Do I think that we have a right to be concerned about how Grand Prix in places like Azerbaijan, in China, in the UAE, in Bahrain, potentially one in Saudi Arabia, would reflect on the regime? Do I think we have rights to be concerned? Yeah. Yeah, I do. And I think if anybody's talking about the politics in F1 and you're saying, oh, but you must have concern. Yeah, I do. I understand why the drivers can't boycott it. Because the politics of F1 has always been you're not allowed to boycott stuff. I mean, 2005 Indianapolis was genuinely unsafe, and they were told, yeah, this was one of the political compromises was, yeah, you could just withdraw and not race. But 1976, the Japanese Grand Prix, title finale, Fuji, the drivers were like, it's too dangerous for us to drive, and Formula 1 were like, but you're gonna drive. But safety, Nicky Lauda nearly died in the Nürburgring. But you're gonna drive, yeah. And we're gonna start on time. F1 has always been political. There's always been politics brought into it, and it's hard to find any motorsport that doesn't have that. It's just, when you see the politics that you don't like, you're gonna get offended. And that's fine to say. It's fine to say that you've been offended. It's fine to say that it strikes a nerve. Just admit to it. Just don't then go, oh, it's getting too political, because it's always been political. F1 drivers had to race in South Africa during the apartheid. And then F1 stopped going to South Africa. And then it came back for a couple of Grand Prix post-apartheid. Because, you know what? People found it uncomfortable being in such a racist country as apartheid South Africa. Yeah. So, oh man, I did a first take of this and I was annoyed when it got past the 10-minute mark, and wow, I've gone much further. I don't really know what else to say. I think that kind of draws a line under my thoughts. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and for tuning in. Especially if you got through all of this stuff. Okay. Bye-bye for now.